What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. This video we will be going through the current free agency moves slash trade slash contract extensions so far as of March 12th. So obviously not everybody has signed. Like as of now, um, Aaron Rodgers has not signed anywhere. Russell Wilson has not signed anywhere. So we have a couple big names that have not signed anywhere as of now. So I'm going to do this video going through who has signed where and all that stuff as of now. But I probably will make another one in like maybe a month or so after most of these contracts have been figured out. So all these trades and these free agent signings actually technically go through June 1st, I believe. I think that the legal tampering started, and that's what all this is. So let's go through it. I'm obviously not going to go through every single one. I'll go through the big ones. So Josh Allen obviously agreed to terms on a new 6-year deal worth $330 million with $250 million guaranteed. That is a huge contract. That is a big signing for the Bills. They have him locked down for another 6 years at least. I don't see him leaving the Bills anytime soon. It is interesting because he hasn't won a Super Bowl. He keeps getting knocked out by the same team. So I don't know. He's a great quarterback. He obviously just won MVP, but I get the signing, and I also don't get the signing. Khalil Shakir signed a 4-year extension. They keep him. Joey Bosa signed a 1-year deal. Damar Hamlin re-signed. I didn't know that. I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff in this video, I believe. Zach Wilson signed with the Dolphins as a backup quarterback. Nick Westbrook-Akina signed with the Dolphins on a 2-year deal. I actually kind of wanted the Eagles to get him as like a third wide receiver. James Daniels signed a 3-year deal. And the Patriots, Josh Dobbs signed a contract. They got Matt Collins on a 2-year deal. He wasn't bad for the Bills last year. Austin Hooper re-signed with them. Harold Landry is another player I wanted the Eagles to get, because we obviously need defensive linemen now. We've lost pretty much our whole defensive line. He signed a 3-year deal, and also Milton Williams, the former Eagles, signed a 4-year deal, $104 million deal with the Patriots. So they actually got our old defensive tackle as well, Carlton Davis, signed a 3-year deal with the Patriots. Patriots have had a pretty good offseason so far, I will say. The Jets signed Justin Fields on a 2-year deal. I have always liked Justin Fields. I think he's a good quarterback who just was on a bad team. Obviously, he's not great. People compare him to Jalen Hurts. I can see it. I don't think he's as good as Jalen Hurts, but I do see the comparisons. Nothing really else happened for them. Andre Cisco signed a 1-year deal. He's pretty good, I guess. Moving on to the Ravens, they did sign DeAndre Hopkins to a 1-year deal. He will be a good fit there, I think. I think he retires after this year, though. I don't see him being a big difference maker on the team. I could be wrong, but I could see him retiring after this year after a lackluster season. They kept Patrick Ricard. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley to a 3-year contract. A great offensive lineman to keep there for them. For the Bengals, Samaje Perine signed a 2-year deal. Where was he last year? I don't remember. Was he on the Bengals? I don't think he was. T. Higgins received the franchise tag. I'm sure he's not happy about that. Mike Gesicki re-signed a 3-year deal. Anything big? Oren Burks, who used to be on the Eagles, signed a 2-year deal with them. For the Cleveland Browns, Eagles traded Kenny Pickett to the Browns for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I actually am happy with that trade as an Eagles fan. But the big thing for the Browns this season so far has been re-signing Myles Garrett to a 4-year contract. $123 million guaranteed. That was the biggest thing for them this year so far. They still have no QB. I mean, Kenny Pickett, I guess, it can be their QB, but I don't know. the Steelers signed Kenneth Gainwell to a 1-year deal, former wide receiver, former running back for the Eagles. Which I honestly am not gonna lie, I did not even know he was a free agent. I thought the Eagles had him for on a long deal, but I guess not. But the biggest thing so far for the Steelers this season was trading for DK Metcalf, a second round pick and a late round pick swap. He signed a 4-year, $132 million extension with Pittsburgh. Big contract for him. As of now, the Steelers have DK Metcalf and George Pickens, two of the biggest wide receivers in the NFL, but also two of the biggest divas in the NFL. So whatever QB they decide to sign, or if it's Aaron Rodgers or if it's Russell Wilson, and my light just turned off, so that's why it just got dark. But they're gonna have their hands full to deal with them. They're gonna have two great wide receivers, don't get me wrong, but they're also gonna have their hand full. They also signed the biggest, probably the tallest tight end in the NFL to a 1-year contract. So they got some big weapons over there in Pittsburgh. Tall receivers. The Texans had a huge offseason, it looks like. Braxton Berrios signed a 1-year deal. Christian Kirk acquired in a trade. The Jaguars originally released Christian Kirk, and then they traded him. Wait, until the start of the New Year League on March 12th. Okay, so that's what that is. Justin Watson signed a free agent deal. He used to be on the Chiefs, obviously. He was a big weapon for Patrick Mahomes. Let me turn my light back on real quick. I use this thing on my TV, and sometimes it just turns off randomly. Derek Barnett returning on a 1-year deal. He used to be on the Eagles. Obviously, the big trade, C.J. Gardner-Johnson traded to them for Kenyon Green. The Eagles traded to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. There is a video on my channel, me talking about that. And I wasn't able to talk in depth about it because I was babysitting and I wanted to get through the video quick. But my final thoughts on it are, I think it's good for the Eagles. Apparently, it was to clear up money. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, in his stream that he did, talked about how he has no hard feelings against the Eagles. He gets that they had to make up money for the young players, or clear up money for the young players. So I think all in all, it's a good trade. We'll see how this Kenyon Green pans out, how he plays. But I'm waiting to see what the Eagles do, what they decide to do for the rest of the offseason. We'll kind of decide how I feel about that trade. The Colts signed QB Daniel Jones. Charvarius Ward agreed to a 3-year deal. Another player I wanted the Eagles to get was Charvarius Ward. We need another cornerback now that we've lost Darius Slay. But it is. I had a friend tell me I want the Eagles to get everybody. It's not true. I just want the Eagles to get players that we need. Which is obviously defensive line. I said earlier I wanted them to get the players, and then cornerback. The Jaguars signed Nick Mullins, Dimey Brown. Nothing really big for them this offseason yet. Tennessee Titans, nothing really big for them either. Van Jefferson, I guess, is a big, kind of replaces Nick Westbrook-Akine. Nothing really big for them, though. The Broncos, anything big for them? Dre Greenlaw, I guess, is a big signing for them. He's leaving the, actually, they got two, former 49ers. Because they also signed Hufanga. Everything's a 3-year deal, too. Okay. So they signed Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga from the 49ers. Interesting. The Chiefs, let's see what they did. They signed Trey Smith to the franchise tag. Marquise Brown re-signed a 1-year contract, which is kind of surprising to me because he didn't really do anything last year. Elijah Mitchell is a good running back for them. He gets hurt a lot, from what I understand, though. Nick Bolton re-signing a 3-year deal. Matt Ariza tendered by the team as an exclusive rights free agent. The tender is worth, I don't know what that means, but okay. The Raiders, Geno Smith, obviously the big move for them this year so far. Well, except for Max Crosby, but Geno Smith acquired in a trade with the Seahawks in exchange for a 2025 third-round pick. Uh, Geno Smith, I mean, he's a good QB, but he's not going to get them to the Super Bowl. I mean, he's just not. Um, I don't even know what wide receivers the Raiders have. They don't have Devontae Adams anymore, so. But obviously, the other big move for them was re-signing Max Crosby to a 3-year extension, a huge contract for him. Jeremy Chin signed a 2-year deal with them. He's a good player. The Chargers got Najee Harris to a 1-year deal. Khalil Mack re-signed to a 1-year deal. Najee Harris is a good pickup for them, but I mean he hasn't done anything the last couple of years. The Cowboys signed Javonte Williams to a 1-year deal, getting a running back that's, I mean, okay. He's not great, so I'm not scared of him as an Eagles fan. But other than that, they haven't really done anything of note yet. The Giants re-signed Tommy DeVito, re-signed Darius Slayton, who I'm kind of surprised about that. I was surprised when I saw that because he hasn't done much in New York since he's been there. He might have re-signed because he heard they might be drafting a QB. I don't know. Javon Holland is a pretty good player to get. I didn't know they got him. Kind of upset about that. He's a good player. Chauncey Golston signed with them. So yeah. Now on to the Eagles. My team hasn't done anything really yet in the offseason. They traded for Dorian Thompson Robinson and traded for Kenyon Green. They signed Saquon to a 2-year extension, which I'm happy about that. And they obviously did re-sign Zach Bond, which is a huge deal. We needed him back. But honestly, they haven't done much this offseason yet. That I thought they were going to do more. I don't know if they're waiting. Like I said, there's a bunch of free agents that are still available. I would not mind us getting man, every time I think of somebody's name, I blank on them. Amari Cooper. I would not mind us getting Amari Cooper. I want us to get another wide receiver for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of I'm not upset with the amount of stuff we've done, but we got to keep up with these other teams. We've lost way too many players. We lost our almost like all of our starters on defense. It's kind of crazy. Or shouldn't I say all of our starters? We lost some of our big starters like CJ. We lost Milton Williams. We lost Darius Slay. Like we've lost a lot of big players. So I would like to see us do something big in free agency. The Washington Commanders have had a huge offseason, I would say, which kind of hurts me because they're the one team in the NFC that I think will give us issues besides like the Rams. They traded for Deebo Samuel, who he might be a little older and might not be as good as he used to be, but he's still a good player. They re-signed Zach Ertz, who obviously had a huge game against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. They traded for Laremy Tunsil, who is one of the best tackles in the NFL. They agreed to terms with Javon Kinlaw, who's a great defensive tackle. They re-signed Bobby Wagner, who obviously is one of the best linebackers in NFL history. Like, they just have had a great offseason. The Chicago Bears, let's see, they traded for Joe Thuney. That's a good trade for them. Grady Jarrett, they signed to a contract. Jonah Jackson, they traded for. He's a good offensive guard. Like, they've signed a lot of awesome offensive linemen, which they definitely needed for Caleb Williams. The Detroit Lions re-signed Marcus Davenport. They signed DJ Reed, who was another good defensive back that I wanted. Nate Hobbs was another one. He goes to Green Bay on a 4-year deal. That's a long contract. The Minnesota Vikings re-signed Aaron Jones to a 2-year deal, which I was kind of surprised about that too. I thought he was going to go somewhere else. They signed Jonathan Allen, used to be on the Washington Commanders, to a 3-year deal. I kind of wanted the Eagles to try and get him too. I didn't even know he signed there until just now. Byron Murphy re-signed with the Vikings. Atlanta Falcons, Jake Matthews signed a 2-year extension. That's about it for them. Nothing really big after that. Andy Dalton re-signed to a 2-year deal with the Panthers. Tommy Tremble re-signed. J.C. Horn on agreed to terms on a 4-year extension. Good for them. He's a great cornerback. Patriots. Chase Young returned on a 3-year deal. Kind of surprised about that. Justin Reed agreed to a contract with them. Dante Pettis re-signed. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Chris Godwin re-signed a 3-year deal. Levante David re-signed, and they signed Hassan Reddick to a 1-year deal. It's kind of crazy, the downfall of Hassan Reddick since he was on the Eagles, man. He sat out most of last year trying to get a new contract, and now he's on the Bucks on a 1-year deal. I mean, it is $14 million still, but it's still like a 1-year deal for one of the best defensive ends. It's crazy. I would think they would want to lock him down for a while. They're probably going to see how he plays, and then if he does good, they're going to re-sign him. But yeah. Now we go on to the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, they signed. Zay Jones, they re-signed. Josh Sweat, former Eagle, went to the Cardinals. Good for him. He got a big contract, 4-year deal contract. He was, honestly, if Jalen Hurts didn't win the MVP, it was probably going to be Josh Sweat in the Super Bowl because he played that good. So I'm happy for him. Jimmy Garoppolo re-signed with the Rams. Matthew Stafford restructured a contract. So he's staying there. Davante Adams agreed to sign with the Rams have had a pretty good offseason too. Tutu Atwell re-signed with them. Nothing really big for the 49ers. They've just lost most of their players. That's kind of what their offseason has been. Seattle Seahawks signed Sam Darnold to a 3-year contract. Sam Darnold gets his big contract. He's had a crazy NFL career, man. Started with the Jets, obviously got drafted by the Jets, had a weird career until he got to the Vikings. Wouldn't have started unless the rookie QB got hurt. And he did ball out until obviously the last game when he kind of shit the bed, but he got his big contract, goes to the Seahawks. Happy for him. I love seeing players that were kind of written off, and just like Baker Mayfield, same thing with him. So literally like the same exact path almost that Sam Darnold had. And that is actually it for the offseason so far, man. It's been a crazy offseason so far, and the crazy part is it's not even over. So what I would like to see for the Eagles is signing another wide receiver and also trying to get defensive line help and also getting defensive back help. Those are the things. So, I just realized my camera froze, and yeah, but I don't know when that happened. See, I just have a bunch of issues. My freaking camera freezes, my light turns off, like, ugh. I don't know when that happened. I'm trying to fix it right now. And of course it froze on a bad thing, but let's see if it comes back. Yep, there it goes. But that's embarrassing, but hopefully y'all could still hear me and the video I just didn't make a freaking 18-minute video for nothing. Yeah, I don't know when it froze. Hopefully it wasn't frozen for long, but thank you guys for watching. I will make another one of these probably in like a month or so. I don't know, but thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.